The National Bureau of Statistics, the NBS, has announced that Nigeria's headline inflation rate fell to 16.05% in October 2025, down sharply from 18.02% in September. On a year-on-year basis, the latest figure is 17.82%, points lower than the 33.88% recorded in October 2024. However, while annual inflation is easing, prices are still rising month to month. October saw a 0.93% increase in the average price level compared to 0.72% in September. Now let's bring in Femi Onakare, an economist who joins us from Lagos for more on this. Femi, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. I would like to know what factors contribute to the headline inflation rate in Nigeria dropping from 16.05% in October. And since for many Nigerians, the data has to translate to less money buying more. But give us explain this to us, please.
Thank you. The CPN, the NBS's rather CPI report, indicated a drop in headline inflation, and this was driven largely by we had a bigger basket, as it were, of consumer goods, which became available. The trend changed from August to September this year, and because of that, it eased our inflationary pressures, coupled with the stability of the exchange rate and increased investment in some sectors in the country. This has resulted in a reduction in inflationary trend, as we have been hoping for. And this is actually on track with what we've had is the seventh consecutive decline this year. And it shows that the administrators of the economy, are getting things in place. Why this disinflation is very important. It should not be confused with deflation. And it's important to know that it does not mean that prices are going to crash. It just means that the increase in price is not as sharp as it were, which means that consumers also have a little more to spend and to get a little bit extra.
Month inflation. So why exactly is that increase still going up? Why is there that increase?
We're moving towards a season in the country that consumer, index, a lot of consumption rises, and from September to October we've had a bit more rise. We've gone through the period of harvest, so some of the consumer goods there will be some increases, month on month, but we expect this to stabilize and not be egregious. Like I said, the disinflation is not a crashing of price; it's just an easing of the price changes. And a number of things would also be significant factors as we move into as we're in the last quarter of the year. There was a recent news report regarding the 15% tariff on imported fuel and the impact it would have. That would have contributed to inflationary trends. So by removing speculation from that, the managers of the economy seem to have a grasp on what is going on. And then also when we consider the tax reforms that will kick in from January next year, that would reduce the spending, of people on really things that, they would have a lot more rather to spend on things that they want. And then it means that the economy is going in the right direction. The easing of the inflationary pressure is the key concern here, and it creates investment opportunities. It means that we can have a more stable FX, regime, and at the same time, have a building of the fiscal structures of the country, curing some legacy deficits and improving the overall stability and standing of the economy.
I hear you. What you're saying, there are factors that determine whether these prices go up or down. And for the last quarter of the year, it's the period we find ourselves, if I'm getting you correctly. But what impact have food prices changed? Especially when you consider items like onions, fruits, and also meat.
Yes.
How much impact has it had on food inflation?
These goods are seasonal. Mm-hmm. So at the point of harvest, which we had a couple of ago, at the point of harvest, you would have quite a glut in the markets. This is also being seen in the cassava situation as it were, with a 51% drop as reported. But the thing is that these positions are they're very dynamic. What you don't want is a sharp increase, right, or a sharp decline, as those would have tremendous negative effect on both spending power and perception of the economy. The increases right now is just because we have a bit more demand, and the glut in the harvest is taking up. But this will also ease as we go towards the the Yuletide period. As of course there'll be increase in demand and people are already buying ahead and all, but there wouldn't be a surge that would create negative inflationary pressures in the economy.
Well, Femi, when will all of this stabilize? Your prediction?
I think we're actually in the period of stability, and what we should be looking at is actually consolidation. The FX rate, which has been one of the dogging economic indices in the country, has really been stable over the last couple of months. In the same vein, we have had month-on-month, decrease in inflationary figures, inflation rates in the country. So it means that we are in a period of stability. Now, what you do in a period of stability is that you go for consolidation. And that's where I believe that the fiscal managers of the economy, need to communicate and actually present, carry people along, carry the public along in their efforts to rectify the situation. If we consider how things are right now, especially with the tax reform being the biggest issue that's going to come up from January next year, some of the provisions there are also very beneficial to us, just increases stability. And what we're looking at is to stimulate the economy, create bigger opportunities for investment, increase the purchasing power of people and access to goods and services. If we manage the economy and it's been done, we have no reason at this point to doubt, given the track record thus far. If we manage the economy right through this period of stability, the consolidation could bear immense growth and benefit for the country, especially down the line for consumers and the general public. So I think that we should look at how we can work with the government, get transparency, get informed on the benefits, advantages we get from some of these reforms, and look at how we can consolidate the goods.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Femi, for all the details there. And we'll always come back to you for more details. Thank you.